Ethan, where have you been, my guy?
I've been around the whole time. Where have you been?
I don't know. It just feels like it's been a while. Anyway, welcome to the 29th episode of ML Backstage. My name is Mars Luna,
And I'm Ethan.
and we're introducing this podcast straight from the sixth dimension. This is a music commentary podcast hosted by Holokahiki Toves and Joshua Luna today. I guess Kainalu Kamai is in the water, apparently. On this episode, the boys are finally going to be talking about my latest single, This Time. And I know last episode went a little too long, but I know this time it'll be better, Ethan.
Alright, folks.
Back to planet Earth we go!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 29 of the ML Backstage podcast. I am Joshua Luna, and I am here today with Holokahiki Toves. Glad to have you on today, good sir.
How's it?
Kainalu Kamai is somewhere in the water. I don't know what beach he's on. He's probably in Waikiki somewhere. But he informed us that he will be in the water, and don't be surprised to see his screen pop up on YouTube if you're going to be watching this. So we'll probably just be on the lookout for that. But Holokahiki, how has everything been since the last episode?
You know, it's been real good. I finally feel like I'm established with, my footing and, trying to figure out, how to pursue other hobbies that are not necessarily filling up for myself. So I'm kind of venturing into that realm. But yeah, it's been getting pretty hot out here during the days, and what can I say? Like, I've been eating real good. My mental health is good. The people that I surround myself is good for myself and for them. It's exchange of frequency and making sure it's just all positive, keep all that negative away. And just praying for the family back home, everybody
Right.
on Maui, my family that are there. Unfortunately, some of their houses burned down,
Right.
but they're all accounted for, they're all safe, and they're staying in one house with my auntie them. So they're all good. That's my family in Maui. My immediate family on Oahu, they're doing good. They actually went to Maui to go help out for a day, just to make sure that they have like this whole area that they paved with dirt, and that's gonna be, from what I heard, the command center of rebuilding Maui. So exciting stuff, but
Yeah.
keeping them in prayers.
Right. As you can see in my in the background here, you can see if you're watching on YouTube, you can see Lahaina in all of its glory and splendor before the wildfires hit. But before I talk about how everything's been for me, let's talk about the wildfires real quick.
Okay.
Because how did you react when everything went down? Because I didn't know that you had family in Maui. My mom told me that we have like distant relatives in Maui, but I don't really know them like that.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know, man. Like like you see wildfires happen all the time in like California or some other place, but like knowing that it's we're most affected by things that are close in proximity to us,
Yeah.
right? And that's a human thing. And the Maui thing, um oof, it's hard to even process it still. It's always it brings about a dual perspective, right? In the sense of
Yes.
like you can see the beauty of the Hawaiian culture at work, right? There, I've told like some of my bosses this, that, there's no, there's no city or country or state or that embodies, loving your neighbor better than Hawaii does,
Mhm.
in my opinion. That's like that's the aloha spirit at work, right? Um, if your neighbors are in trouble, if your loved ones are in trouble, you know, boom, like in an instant,
Mhm.
kokua immediately, right? Like, and the help comes through right away, and everybody's there for each other. And because all we have are each other in Hawaii, right? And we try not to outsource, because usually when when you try to outsource, sometimes the people that you're looking to for help that are outside may not necessarily have the best interest, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because Hawaii is sacred land, right? And it's tough, man. Like, seeing, it's encouraging to see that people are helping out and like um doing what they got to do to rebuild Lahaina and uh create something new. But like, it's a lot of history gone. It's a houses gone. People are, the death tolls in like the hundreds, and there's probably more that aren't even reported, because it's kind of hard to count, like people diving in the ocean and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? it's it's unfortunate to see, like, your greatest attributes and stuff like that shine brightest when there's tragic times. You know what I mean? When
Mhm.
it's not as appreciated during the mundane day-to-day life, right? So I don't know. It's like you said, like, still prayers for Maui, and and all that kind of, and all that, hopefully, you know they're able to rebuild in the way that it needs to,
Mhm.
keep Lahaina land in Lahaina hands. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I see like conspiracy theories and stuff, like about, you know, natural disasters and stuff. And for me, like, I don't know how you feel about conspiracy theories, but like, I don't consider myself a conspiracy theorist, because it's
Mhm.
like, you're basically, people kind of just be saying whatever to make themselves feel better. If you're going to address problems, you got to be able to come up with solutions. You got to help
Right,
with
right.
finding solutions. And a lot of the problems I see with conspiracy theorists are that they're just presenting problems from, like, and like, oh, presenting a perspective from an alternate reality, but it does nothing to kind of solve anything. Like, that's just my perspective on it. Like, and even like, say, you know, in Vegas, we were, in California, we were in the path of Hurricane Hillary, which is unheard of in the West Coast. But it was traveling through the Gulf of Mexico or whatever. But it became clear that, like, people were spewing out conspiracy theories. I've saw it throughout, like, the internet and stuff. And but I mean, it's kind of common sense. Like, if you actually study if you're actually able to, cycle through the trajectory and the path of it,
Mhm.
right? Like, oh, like, people were saying here in Vegas that it was Hurricane Hillary is Hurricane 4, and we got to be ready for it. And yeah, like, we got to be prepared. We always got to be prepared, right? But at the same time, you also got to know where is it a Hurricane 4? Where is it going to be Hurricane 3, 2, 1? Because it's all going to dissipate,
Mhm.
right? It's just became clear that people just don't pay attention to science class, and I don't know. It's a lot going on. But uh just like you said, just kind of reiterate the point, pray for Maui, and send your positive thoughts, and good vibes, and you know, it's gonna take some time.
Yeah.
So what is your perspective on the whole everything happening in Maui, and since you have family over there, and you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, it's just, a brush fire that we get during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think it was 2 days later, I heard that I saw some videos and I was like, oh, this is serious.
Mm-hmm.
And I see videos that are being taken from the water. So I know the
Yeah.
people are being our people had to evacuate into the water,
Yep.
and they're there treading water. And when I'm watching this video, I'm just trying to take it all in. And you know, a lot of people saying, it's burning down the town, burning down, the buildings that have been there, that have been taking
Mm-hmm.
care of the
Mm-hmm.
people,
Yeah.
and just the land. But it's from my perspective, I feel like it's a way of cleansing the land.
Mm.
And kind of like how Big Island, every so often there's a eruption, and the
Right.
eruption
Right.
it covers the land. And
Mm-hmm.
when it covers the land, it's making room for new things to sprout up, new
Right.
life to sprout up. And I just see it as a way of bringing in, amongst all everything, the media and
Mm.
the our people, our Hawaiians, they're trying to rebuild. I feel it. This is a time like a blank canvas. We can make Maui how the people want Maui to be
Right.
today.
Right.
They can choose to have it different. They can choose it to be old. They can choose it to be modern. Now they have a clean canvas to be like, okay, now there's how are we going to rebuild Maui here in this year 2023, 2024. And hearing a lot of people coming in, and they want to take the land. And there's like, I think, like, was it the president was there?
Yeah. Biden was there, and
Yeah, Biden was there, and
mhm.
then he didn't get a very nice welcome.
No, because it was kind of an insulting gesture. So
Yeah,
it
I
was like
saw
it
a
was like
video.
$700 vouchers, one time $700 voucher. I mean, come on, like
Yeah,
Uncle Joe, Uncle
that's
Joe,
what
you gotta be
I
better. You gotta be better
saw.
than that.
and,
Come on
and
now.
it's just crazy. Like, I don't really consume so much about the news, just from what I hear
Right.
from my
Right.
parents.
Yeah.
And just, I think right now Maui just gotta, like, how our people here, we just gotta come together and just figure things out. How are we going to rebuild Maui, and how are we going to take care of this land and take care of the people.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when community comes together, and we just
Yeah.
gotta move as one movement. And let them have that time, let them have that time to grieve, to be sad.
Yeah.
There's so much donations that are going out, and there's clothes, but all you just need is shirt, shorts, shoes, and then you're good to go.
Or water,
Or
toiletries and stuff.
yeah, like, we need to send more toiletries, more propane tanks, more gas, more oil.
Mhm.
And we just need them to give them time,
Yeah.
set them, have their moment to grieve. And I watched the video, and I watched this video, and I've heard that the people that are there, they feel like the spirits that were the people that were lost in the fire,
Hmm.
their spirits are still lingering.
Right.
And from uh Hawaiian perspective, you can feel that when you're on the land. that
Oh yeah,
something is
for
not
sure.
right. Something is just out of balance. And then this old gentleman, he could feel the spirit just lingering around. So right now, Maui needs to do their thing. They need to have a funeral to, put these spirits to rest. So
Yeah.
everything is good. Everything is everything is all together, and then they can move as one,
Mhm.
and then you know
Yeah.
head into the right direction.
Right.
Crossing my fingers
Me.
that it does happen.
Right. No, I mean, because it's like, it is sacred land, right? So,
Mhm.
you know, you gotta make sure, everything honors the ancestors and, you know, everything that came before, right? But I mean, like, I don't know, I could go down the rabbit holes
Yeah,
of
we could like really
Hawaiian
go.
history, but I mean,
Yeah,
like, it's not worth going through all that today.
yeah.
Um, anyway, um, but anyway, back to the introduction.
He's like, okay.
Introduction. I feel like lately for me things are moving way too fast, and I'm not able to keep up. And it's not a bad thing, it's just because you want to be stimulated, right? It's just I haven't been able to really process, a lot of the things that have happened over, like, there are a lot of changes happening around me, and like meaning like, like my friends and people are entering different seasons of their lives, and I'm kind of slowly entering into a different season of my life, and just kind of seeing the natural, I wouldn't say drifting, but more so like natural, like life just doing its thing, with my life and like the people around me and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of needed time to recenter and to refocus um and figure out what's figure out what's how trying to forecast what the next seasons look like, because transitions have happened all year, and it's been one after the other, and it's exhausting. But I know that it's also a part of life, and I just take it in stride, and just find ways to move forward, and adjust to the different seasons that come. Yeah. So to those who are um new to this podcast, the ML Backstage podcast is basically um it's basically like a time capsule of episodes that chronicle my musical journey, or more accurately put, Mars Luna's um musical journey, the Cosmic Chronicles, and just kind of recapping like you know what my thought processes were like during this specific single release or this specific project release. And today we're going to talk about the latest Mars Luna single, This Time. And This Time is actually uh, a song that was written way back in like 2014. Um, I don't remember where I was and during the, I think I was still living in Hawaii at the time when I wrote this song. And this song is basically a song about learning from your mistakes and becoming a better person for yourself and for your loved one. And I know on social media, Mars Luna said something like, you can send it to your ex if you're feeling brave, just sending it, and I know it's like all right. I mean, but it's kind of like, you're kind of going through like a strained relationship, and you want to prove to yourself and to your estranged loved one that you are better, you're good, you are going to be better for yourself and for the relationship, if they allow it to kind of, if they allow things to start new again, right? And the one of my favorite lines from that song is no one else but you and I, no more wandering eyes. So it's kind of like, they're like I'm focused now. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna be better. That's kind of the whole general theme of that song. And if we kind of look at the last 3 singles, you're kind of going through the process of shooting your shot, and once you successfully shoot your shot with green light, you're going through communication issues with communication, and there's a fallout, and then it leads to an apology of, this time things are going to be better. So it feels like a natural flow of things. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a natural flow, and it was just something that I noticed, and I actually kind of wrote this song with Kainalu, and I wish he was here to talk about it a little bit more, because we kind of finished this song in 2014 when Kainalu went to Vegas to visit me, and he was staying at Circus at the time, and he came with his family, and I don't know what they were doing here. I think it was just regular Vegas stuff at the time, and they, like, we were jamming in Nalu's hotel room, and there's actually a video on YouTube that you can go check out on Kainalu's page. Just type in this time, Joshua Luna, and you'll find it. It's ancient. it's very ancient, and I remember that same day, like, I'm trying to remember, like, because I know we went to Guitar Center that day, and we were jamming out at Guitar Center, and I think we went back to to Kainalu's hotel room, and then we kind of finished up this time that day, and I kind of did some more tweaks, as the years went on, and this song was almost a decade in the making. This song was old, but
Wow.
but the thing is, like, it's kind of crazy how, like, even songs from, like, way back can still feel new, once you find ways to make it feel fresh. So shout out to Morgan on the production, and turning something old into something brand new, and that's kind of and since you're here, I know we kind of touched on, this time a little bit in the last episode, kind of just sneaking it in there.
Yeah.
We did the photo shoot for this last year, like around a year ago today, actually, around this time.
Yeah, around this
Um,
time.
and then and we were kind of just squeezing in some photos at Waikiki Beach. It was hot.
Yeah,
It was mad hot.
every time we shoot outside, it was just hot. And I think on
Mhm.
that Waikiki beach with the sun out, the
Yeah.
sun bouncing off the sand, bouncing
Mhm.
off onto us, I was like, dang, it's hot.
Yep.
And I watched that the behind the scenes video, and I was like, dang, I look very Filipino in that video. Bruh, like shaved head, everything.
Hey, man, you gotta make the most out of, the Hawaii weather,
Dude, like
And that was before you
it's
started lifting weights too, bro.
yeah, that's before I started lifting weights. So
That was before you started lifting weights. And I just remember this, and no, actually, I'm gonna finish your thought. Sorry, finish
okay.
your thought. I'll get back to it.
No, yeah, I saw that video and it kind of took me back. And I remember that when we was on the beach, yeah, we was on the beach,
Mm-hmm.
and I was gonna have you, I was gonna have you on, like, we put our stuff on
Yep.
the seat there, and then the lady told us, oh,
Yep. The security lady.
security lady, she was like eyeing us out, and I was like, nah, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
chance it.
Yep.
And she said, she said something like, oh, this is for guests only.
Yep.
And I was like,
Something like that. Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, we are the people of this land right now. What you gonna do?
It's
It's like, shoot,
Can,
but
like King Kamehameha is my direct ancestor.
He's my direct ancestor. You're telling me to not put myself on the seat?
Like, don't I
So
look
it was
Hawaiian
like,
enough to you?
right? Like I looked at her and I was like, oh, whatever.
That's all good.
Shoot.
All good.
And then we moved and I wanted to find a viewpoint of Diamond Head in the back.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I kind of like looked around. We found a spot, and then I just stick that spot, and I told him to stand here.
Mm-hmm.
I move in position, and then start taking photos. And it was a very nice day. Like I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie,
Yeah. Very nice.
and it wasn't too crowded, but
No.
it wasn't too like empty. It was just the right amount of
Mm-hmm.
people,
Yeah.
and we took some photos there. And then we was walking along, and then I saw this catamaran come
Yep.
in, and I was like, "Oh, this is perfect. The colors
Yeah.
on point.
Yeah.
We gotta get Luna in front of this." And
Mm-hmm.
and it was just it was just a quick draw. It just came in and it was right near the
Yeah.
exit. So I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna have you stand right here and take some photos. And then there was
Uh,
like people that was walking through. So I had to kind of like wait it out, take some more photos, wait it out. So it's kind of like
yeah.
trying to feel out the whole atmosphere there. But it was
Yeah.
very nice though. Like
Yeah.
for a quick shoot like that.
Yeah.
Plus it was hot.
Yep.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Had
Yeah.
some good
Yeah.
bangers.
Yeah. Yeah. Got some good bangers off of that for sure. Yeah. So I remember, because I mentioned about lifting weights.
Oh
It
yeah.
brought back to something that that we talked about off air, and I had to address this real quick. Um, so when you're in Hawaii, when you're from Hawaii and you kind of move somewhere else, people can kind of tell that you're different, right?
Oh right,
And
right.
and there's always like curiosity, um that kind of comes to the surface, right, from other people who may not be familiar with like your culture or whatever. Apparently, I woke up to an Instagram story today, and from Holo, and this man is not really he's not super active on Instagram, and I woke up to the story and I saw that Holo had some story time. I was like, and then he
Story
said
time with Holo.
and then there was like something about like, well, he was like, he had a question for all the guys out there. It's like, what would you do if you had like if you had four women come up to you? And I was like, what is happening here? So I don't know. So this is a wild story. And it's super interesting. Holo, if you don't mind sharing
Oh
what
shoot.
what the heck was going on, bro?
Okay. Oh, okay.
Georgia be wilding out, bro.
Georgia be wilding. Oh shoot. Now this means I gotta save it now as a highlight now. Oh shoot. Okay. Very, very quick. This was at work though. So what happened was I have four black girls hit on me straight, and they wasn't beating her on the bush. They was, you know, gun ho. It was going get them. They
I love that for them, by the way.
they actually stepped up to the plate, and they just went for it. Usually I'm like trying to shoot my shot. They're
Right.
shooting shots like left and right. And I can't blame them. Can't blame them though. Like for them, that's when I learned like if they like what they see, they go get them and shoot. They go get them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're more interested, I'm guess I gotta put it as a highlight now. Now that's gonna be a staple.
Hey man.
Oh, shoot.
Hey man,
That's gonna be a staple though.
Hey man, moral of the story is go to the gym, work out, and be disciplined, and then you'll catch all these women's attention.
Shoot.
That's
Big
it.
shoot,
Apparently.
You just make sure
Gorilla season in full effect.
bro, gorilla season, white back, only white backs we want all year.
I nearly just spit out my water.
Oh man, make sure you roll up them sleeves and just
Bro.
do your thing.
Bro, I'm trying. I'm trying to, I'm trying to, improve, trying to, rewrite the genetics, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
it's kind of what you got to do. But, it just comes to show that, once you put in that work in the gym, it's, it's noticeable, but
It's
like
game over out here.
game over, so, so back on topic, my apologies. I have a couple of questions here. So to those who are listening for the first time on this this podcast or watching, I usually try to close out, the episode with, asking a question that kind of resonates with the theme of, either the song or the project, or, what I'm saying? Like, whether it's like a philosophical question, whether it's a fun question, whether it's a general question, I try to like give questions that make people that make, that make us think, right?
Yeah,
And
understand.
and I have a few questions here that I want to bring up in relation to this time, because this time is a song about, apologizing and, forgiveness and reconciliation and all that stuff. So I have 3 questions. I guess I'll start with the first one. The first question I have is, why is it hard to say I'm sorry? Just in general.
Just in general. Why is
in
it hard to
general.
say sorry? I think it's hard to say sorry because we I think this is for the men out here.
Yes.
We don't want to, it's so hard to say sorry for us because we are scared to be vulnerable, to bring our shields down, and we're scared to not be seen as a dominant figure. And that's how, it comes across when with men. Like, we want to be viewed as a strong guy. We don't have emotions. That's all we do. And when it comes to a time where you gotta suck it up and you gotta swallow your pride and say sorry, you can either do that and you be viewed as a much stronger, more masculine male, or you can go ahead and just not say sorry and just be like a fool because you have to say sorry. The other person knows, like, you have to apologize, but then again, if you choose not to, it makes you a fool. Like, just sometimes you just gotta swallow it and know what's the right thing to do, and that's comes with apology and saying you're sorry.
Yeah, that's pretty spot on. I would also add to that too. It's an ego thing.
Yes.
It's also a pride thing. It also comes with, an incredible amount of self-awareness, to admit that you're wrong about something. And I mean, you see, I think, like you said, like, I mean, it goes both ways too, because
Right. It does go both ways.
it's a human condition, but speaking for the men, I think it's, like you said, it's kind of like men are kind of cast to be like, like you said, strong, and to be like alpha figures. Right. But what is society's definition of strength, and what is society's definition of what is the society's definition of being strong, and what does it actually mean for men? And I think like even relationships, um relationships fail because people's pride and ego get in the way, right? And that's why, like, I've mentioned it in a few songs about like what's wrong with saying I'm sorry, what's wrong with being direct,
Yeah.
and the reason why and it's also like, you know you see this back home too in Hawaii, right? And like, what kind of people I'm talking about. And like, there's a perception of being a tough guy, perception of like, bro, I gotta, people do whatever they can to impress their honey girl or whatever, but they do it in they do it all the wrong ways, right? And you and I can both kind of picture, what those kind of, those people are, right? And and like, I don't know, man, like it's an easy thing to do in theory, but it's a hard thing to do because it attacks our own pride, it attacks our ego, and it, like you said, makes us it creates a perception of us being weak when it's really not, because communication and learning how to, your partner's way of communicating, and it's important, for it to grow and to flourish. So I guess the next question, Holo, is or it's not really a question, but like, what are your perspectives on forgiveness and reconciliation?
I think my perspective on it is, we as humans, that is part of the process, right? When something happens that goes in a different way, and it requires forgiveness. We need to, in the Hawaiian culture, it's called ho'oponopono, and it translates into making it right, making sure to make it right. So when you move forward, everything's good, nothing latches onto you, you can move forward with a clear mind. If you don't do ho'oponopono, and that's when grudges happen, when you are carrying this weight with you, and you did wrong, you don't forgive, and you don't go ahead and make that relationship become stable with whoever you are having that conflict with, it's gonna bring bad things your way, because you have to go and forgive yourself, or forgive your partner, or your friend or family member. So with Ho'oponopono, it's like facing the fact that you need to forgive and making right with this person, with yourself, or with this situation. So, okay, that is done, that chapter is done. I can move forward with life. Don't need to worry about it. We are good, and everything is just good. Like, you move on and you're clean. It's like you are I said it before, but it's like you are I forgot the word, but probably gonna come back to me. But you're cleansed of all bad doing. And we did a couple of that for myself. I think it was like 2019. I did that with my cousins, because I feel like my cousins wasn't respecting me, and they're younger than me. So they wasn't respecting me, and it felt wrong. They was projecting this attitude towards me, and I was like, what is these girls? They're not respecting me. They're not doing this. They never say thank you. This is when I took them, like I took all the girls, all my cousins in my car, and we went to do a photo shoot. And I just
Mm.
felt like I was just their ride.
Mm.
Yeah, their ride to get out of the house, to get photos and bring them to the beach. I felt
Mm.
like I was just a chaperone, but I was a family member, and it didn't sit right with me. And I didn't try to tell them that, because
Mm.
I know they're girls, they're young, they're gonna be girls. But for me, it
Ugh.
didn't sit right with me. So I went ahead, I told my auntie what was happening, and she was like, gotta do ho'oponopono. They gotta know where you're coming from so they can understand. And then it'll be, and I need to know where I'm coming from so I can learn what is this feeling that I have to make it right and not to happen again. And Ho'oponopono is not like a bad thing. It's just a way of helping you move forward without anything that's blocking your path. So it's
Mm.
like clearing your passage.
Mm.
And I'm just fortunate that I didn't need to do any of that with you or with
Yeah.
Nalu or Scott,
Mm-hmm.
because we are so close. We're a tight knit. It's just,
We might have done that one time actually, but it was
when
all
we did that.
because of a misunderstanding.
Oh,
But
we did that. We did that.
yeah, in
Me and you.
2019,
That's right.
in the 2019 or beginning of 2020. But
That's right.
but
That's
it was
right.
just more so because it was just a perception thing,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
oh, like we thought that, oh, you were trying to, you were interested in this one girl and you thought I was interested in her too, but it wasn't the case.
That's right.
It wasn't the case.
It,
I just didn't want you to get heartbroken again.
right. Yeah, you was looking out for me. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I honestly, I gotta say, I was very weak in the mind,
Mm.
and I was clouded. I'm.
All good.
It was just
It happens, bro.
foggy. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, dang, hold on, you was messed up. Like, shoot,
Hey,
very
bro.
childish though.
That's
But that's growth though.
yeah, it's growth. It happens. But yeah, because I mean, I just knew that she didn't view you any differently than she viewed me.
Yes,
And
yes,
that's was all it was, and we move forward from that now. And
right,
it's
right.
so we did. So just to
No,
clarify,
we did.
we did do that one time.
Yeah, we did a whole.
But other than that, no. Other than
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
no.
we cool, we cool. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was nice.
Oh, yeah. But
Shoot, I totally forgot about that.
yeah,
Dang, we come far. We come far.
yeah,
All of us came far.
yeah, for sure. I think, yeah, that was tough. That was really good,
Yeah,
but that was
that was
tough
tough.
though. That
Yeah,
was
I thought,
tough though.
if you think about it, it could have gone messy too.
Hmm. I'm like, hey man, hey bro, just looking out for the homie.
Yeah,
That's all it was.
appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, forgiveness and reconciliation is something that I've are topics that have been messy for a very long time with me.
Mhm.
Not because I've done anything wrong, but because of certain people that have done me wrong. Right, I've dealt with a lot of bitterness and a lot of resentment for a lot of years, because yeah, I don't know if I really want to dive deep into this here, but like my relationship with my
Up to
dad is
you.
not my relationship with my dad is non-existent,
Mhm.
and it got to a point where like we needed the only solution was closure, and that was hard.
Mhm.
Like sometimes forgiveness looks different for different people, um and I can confidently say that my objectively my dad is not a good person. Like he's done some he's done some stuff, you know what I'm saying, but it's just like that kind of affected me and affected my family and the way I grew up, but like sometimes forgiveness is to be at peace, with whatever, with like, dang, things may not be like some things are just are not meant to happen, and that's unfortunate. But it kind of like what you said, it kind of wipes the slate clean, and to kind of you know practice different things for future generations, or even with your loved ones right now. Just it's always important to kind of treat people with kindness, and see and be compassionate. I feel like that's a quality that humans these days, especially with the internet and stuff, and just with how people react to hostility nowadays, is lacking. It's in society. And I don't know, man, like it's you gotta, whatever the problem is, you gotta confront it and try to make it right. But even if, say, the other person is not willing to make it right, or it's clear that they have not moved, that they have not learned from their mistakes, and they haven't, they weren't repentant or apologetic for what they've done, or what I've done,
Right.
then it's like, kind of, it's like you have to do it. You got otherwise, like, you're gonna, like you said, you're gonna baggage is gonna accumulate. Once you if you harbor hatred, or if you harbor bitterness, or if you harbor resentment for too long, then you're gonna end up becoming that. Because you're not you didn't deal with the things that hurt you. And even, like, going back to saying sorry, like, it's one of the more powerful statements is saying that I'm sorry, and truly meaning it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like I've done wrong. I messed up.
Right.
But I messed up. I want to make it right again. If you don't, if things aren't meant to be the way not to be meant to be the way they were before, it's all good. Whatever, just got to get on my chest, type thing. And it's made me, like, dealing with the repercussions of bitterness and resentment from a young age has kind of helped shape my thought process on forgiveness and reconciliation. Now, it's a powerful thing, man. It's but it should be a regular thing.
Yes.
So that's kind of where I stand on that. And also, another question is, what is the most humbling thing that's ever happened to you?
Like, can you? Because I in my head I have like two definitions of humbling.
What are the two definitions you're thinking of?
Like, I'm thinking about humbling, like something that comes into your space and it kind of like reminds you. And then there is the other definition. What is the most humbling thing that's ever happened to you? Oh, I guess. Oh, me reading it again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going off of what I felt the first time is something that you experience.
Yes, like something that's humiliating.
Humiliating, right? Right.
Yes.
Okay. When I'm reading it out loud, I can hear myself think. But yeah, I would say what can I give an example of most humbling thing that's ever happened to you? I'm thinking about a time that I was put in my place and I was like, okay, I gotta really like maneuver myself in a different angle.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really like think I have a most humbling moment.
Mm.
I I believe I have one, but I don't think I recently did one did have one that I've kind of like latched onto, like I remember.
Mm.
I want to say something at work, but nothing at work kind of like sticks out to
I
me.
mean, that's a good thing then.
Yeah,
That's a good thing.
but I know I do have one. I just
Mm.
cannot think about it right now. Like the most humbling thing that put me like something that put me in my place, and I was like, okay, I gotta do something different. I gotta say, maybe it's I don't know. I'm thinking about 2019 when that whole thing happened.
Mm.
That I still gotta I still that's another story I gotta talk about when that day comes. I feel comfortable talking about it now.
Mm.
Uh
I actually don't know what you're talking about right
oh
now.
the 5 a.m. photo shoot.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yep.
yeah.
That's in the future. That's like in the future.
Yeah, that's like
I
future. I remember
yeah.
you talking about it. Oh, I'm ready to talk about that. But going on back on this question, it's either that or when I went vegan, because that kind of like transformed everything for me.
Yeah.
And they kind of like took me out,
Mhm.
and then it it didn't that didn't put me together. It took me out, and I had to put myself back together again.
Mm. Because I mean, you went vegan not for the right reasons in the first place.
Yeah, and then I kind of like just live with it.
Mm.
It was That's another thing I gotta talk about. It's so bad. Um,
I mean, you learn from it, right? So
I yeah, I told you like this youngin Holo was just not the thing, the
it was different.
jam.
Yeah, it was different, bro.
Different. That's another good story, but yeah, I really don't know. Like it's either those two. Nothing
Yeah.
recent though.
I mean, that's a good thing then, because
Yeah,
it just shows growth, right?
yeah.
It shows that you became a better person, after those things happen. So it's the fact that you don't have any recent ones is a good thing. I think I guess for me the like I because I had to think about this. Um the most humbling thing that probably happened to me, I think it probably happened in 2016. Like another relationship thing again. And I think the humbling thing, it was just like it humbled me in a weird way, because I thought, I was kind of talking to this person, whatever, for like for like a summer or something like that. And then um um I was talking to her, we were friends, we were cool. We saw a concert together. And like I remember that day clearly, because I had a flat tire. I ran over like a nail or something, but
Mm,
I still drove all the way to Mandalay Bay from my house after church for this concert with an obviously flat tire. And I went there, hung out with this girl. And it's you know and the friend group that we were part of at the time thought we something was kind of happening there, whatever. And there was instigating and stuff like that. And I thought, oh, maybe something's happening, I don't know, but I'll just see. I just want to see, right? And lo and behold, like she told me that I was, I guess being put in the friend zone was humbling.
okay.
I guess that's kind of that's the short story. We went on like one date, and then the date did not go, from my perspective, didn't go well at all. And then, like, I kind of told the homies like um what happened or whatever. Like they were like, just try to schedule the next date. I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. And then she kind of caught on to see what was happening, and she was like, oh, I'm actually seeing somebody else. And I'm like, dang. Oh,
Dang. Dang.
dang. Okay, okay. But I mean, like, we're cool now. You know what I mean? Like, we actually had a brief conversation today. Like, she's married now, you know,
Oh
and
wow. Okay.
she's married now, and the funny thing is the dude kind of looked like me a little bit, you
Oh
know,
shoot.
and it's like,
Oh snap.
but I mean, it's all good. Like I'm not, I don't like. It's like, oh, I'm glad it didn't work out. You know, I can look back at it in retrospect and be like, oh, like I'm glad that I'm glad that didn't work out,
You'd be
right?
like, I'm glad it didn't work out, but I'm happy for my doppelganger. Yeah, you.
Yeah, yes, sir. Nah, he was. Yeah, I met him too. Like I met her husband. He's a cool dude. He's a
Oh,
cool
that's
dude.
cool. That's
So
cool.
like anytime like I I keep track of like whoever I was talking to or whatever. I always the way for me to move forward is like how is the dude? You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
Like
right, right.
because they could be talking to some dude who's like who's like a douchebag or whatever, right? But
Yeah, yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But like no, like the guy's a cool dude. I'm like okay, it's easy to move forward that way.
Like when you see the guy and you be like,
Yeah,
ooh, dang, you bossed
oh
up.
like ooh like I could treat you better or whatever. But like
Right, right. This is when your high school
that's
self comes in.
yeah, right, for real. It's kind of like Kalihi self gonna come out, but it's
Right.
nah. I think another one too that was kind of humbling recently was probably 2 years ago in the summertime. Like there I was kind of transitioning into a new environment, like new church environment, whatever, and I guess there was they used to have like these open mics and stuff, and I that like the open mics was my way of getting to know people and stuff like that. And there was a girl that noticed me at the open mic event. She came up, introduced herself, and got to know each other for the summer. And then you know and then she ended up leaving, and and moving to a different. I was like, well, wrong time, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I'm probably not going to see you again, but but it is what it is.
Dude, I
Well,
just remember this one time when you brought up that girl,
yeah.
and I was thinking about the girls that I was um making that
Hmm.
first move on, and I
Yeah.
kind of got like boom, like rejected.
Yeah.
Is that girl from Whole Foods?
Oh my gosh, that's a core memory.
Oh
Holy
shoot.
crap. That's a core
I
memory. I
that
forgot about that until you just brought it up.
Yeah, I just remembered it. And when you was talking about that girl, I was like thinking about it. I was like, this gotta be a humbling experience.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
shoot. Okay, okay. I'm trying to remember what year, but when you said 2 years ago,
Yeah.
2 years ago was 21.
21. Hmm.
That's when it hit me. I was like, I went ahead and I talked to this girl at Whole Foods. Okay, this is another good story. This is a good story for the pod right now.
Oh.
Okay, so 2 years ago, 2021, I go ahead and I go in Whole Foods. I know what I'm gonna be cooking, so I grab all the ingredients. But I see
Mhm.
this girl, right? I see this local girl, and I showed you guys a picture, right? Like
No. You
oh,
never
I
showed me.
didn't.
No.
I
But
found her on Instagram.
you gave her a I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
you did, but I had to kind of go back and recollect my memory now.
yeah. Like I forgot her name. I just like I don't know how
Yeah.
I found it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I went ahead and I was grabbing all my ingredients, and then I see this girl walking by, and I was like, "Ooh, this girl looks attractive," And
Yeah.
I was like,
You said that she looked ono.
"Yeah." Oh, did I say?
Yeah.
Oh, put me on my spot right now. Shoot, dang!
Ono,
Now you finish with the story.
ono means delicious. I mean, it means you look good. That's basically what it means. Continue. Sorry.
Like Korean chicken, zippies. You know what I'm saying? All along those
Anyway,
lines.
I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish.
So I go ahead and I see her, right? And I'm like, oh, this girl's on. Like, ooh, this girl is good to the eyes. Like I was eating with my eyes, right?
Yeah.
Such bad bad metaphor. But so I'm watching her. She's putting stuff in her what do they call that? They call it when they're holding the basket. They
Basket, yeah.
put their stuff in the basket, and I was kind of like checking her out, and then checking what she got in the basket, so I can kind of like formulate a conversation, like, oh, what you making? Oh, what's going on? So I remember I was she was walking down this aisle, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna grab my milk. So I have to go around that aisle. And then I grabbed the milk, and then I think about it, and I was like, oh, let me go down the same aisle. It was only me and her in the aisle, and she was looking at spaghetti. So I was like, okay, bet she's gonna be making spaghetti. I go ahead and I walk closer, and then I'm trying to get that hint, but she's so
Yeah.
focused on the spaghetti. And it was just me and her in the aisle, and I was like, I was gonna go and shoot my shot, but something was telling me, okay, don't do it. Back down, back down. So I go ahead, back down. Go ahead. I grabbing all my ingredients, and then she goes and she stops by the fridge. She stops by the cheese, and I see her grabbing the cheese. She opens it. She's bending down. She's grabbing the cheese, and I'm walking, and I see her, and I was like, this is a good moment. This is when I'm gonna go. So I walk up to her, and I was like, "Oh, how you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing okay." And I asked her, "Oh, what you gonna be making?" Completely forgot what she was gonna be making. And then I was like, "Oh, you use this cheese?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to go for organic." And that's when I kind of chimed in, was like, "Oh, are you vegan? Are you plant-based?" And she's like, "Oh no." I was like, "Oh, did you get all your ingredients?" And she said, "Oh, I didn't get everything that I needed, but I'm gonna go Costco later."
Mm,
And I was like, "Okay, cool, cool." And then this is when I attempt to shoot my shot, and I was
yeah.
like, "Hey, I saw you, and I found you." This is what I said. "Oh, I saw you, and I saw that you seem attractive." Boom, that was the flag
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. I
I
remember
kind
this
of
now.
gave it away already, and
Yeah, I remember this now.
I said, "Oh, you seem attractive." I already that Now thinking about it, that was the wrong move,
Oh,
and I was
definitely wrong move. But
and
like looking
looking
back
back at
now.
it, yeah.
Looking back now.
And then I was like, "Oh, you seem attractive," and that's when I went ahead and asked for her number, and then she goes and hits me with, "Oh, I got a boyfriend," and then
Eh,
I was
okay.
like, "Okay," and then she just walks away.
Oop.
And then I was like, "Oh, we're gonna be playing that game then," and I walk away.
Yeah.
And then I was walking away to the cash register, and I was like, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
Like she didn't like kind of set me down. She was like, "Oh, I have a boyfriend,"
And
and
that's
just
it.
walks away and dips.
And that's it.
Yeah, she just dips with her cheese.
Another conversation.
Yeah, so I was like, "Wait, what?" And then I told the boys about it, and
Yeah,
then even Scott chimed in. I remember him saying,
he
"Oh,
did.
did you ask her for her name?" I didn't get her name. And then I told them the conversation, and they already said that I was coming too strong.
Yeah,
That
yep,
was way too strong. And then I would say that that's a humbling experience that I remember, that put me in my place to
yeah.
kind of observe and take a step back and just become friends first, and not
So just let it flow.
just the
Let it
flow. That's
flow.
not
Yeah,
Don't hightail it to being girlfriend, boyfriend, putting a
yeah.
label, partner.
That,
Start being friends and see where it goes.
yeah. I mean,
Boys, men, that's our advice to you guys.
that's why I don't believe in the concept of the friend zone.
Yes,
If you're
yes,
like if you're attracted to someone and they just view you as a friend, they mean that.
you're right. And you're a
They
friend. You're in there.
they genuinely mean that.
Mhm.
And like, but once you're attracted to someone, like you can only see them from a certain lens,
Right,
right?
right.
And your vision becomes binary.
Mhm.
It becomes a point where it's like, like, because there have been stories where people made it out of this metaphorical friend zone.
Friend zone. Yes, yes.
There have been stories of that, but you kind of just gotta let it flow the way it needs to. And if maybe once y'all become friends for a longer period of time, then it's like, oh, maybe I only see this person as a friend. And
Yeah, yeah.
also, if if you may be interested in someone down the line, the person that you may be interested in before, who may still be your friend, can help you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. They
I,
are like a way, because friends who are friends with each other, they, like how you said, they will help you and they will hook you up with their friends.
yep.
So
It's
not necessarily she's gonna be the one, but she is going to
she can lead you to other people.
lead you to other people.
Potentially,
Akamai, you're smart.
potentially. You got
Yeah, she'll
it's
connect you.
chess, not checkers.
Oh
Check,
boy.
chess, not checkers, my
Oh
dog.
shoot. We're dropping heats right here now.
But yeah, like,
I
but
like it.
those
I
are some
like it.
humbling moments for sure. But anyway, like, so to everyone listening, this last single, Mars Luna single, is called This Time, and the single 2 months before was called Communication, and Green Light, that dropped in May. This was the Cosmic Casanova summer season, according to Mars Luna, and those three singles all kind of lead to the album called New Orbit, that's dropping in October 13 and October 13, 2023, hopefully. Um, we're really close to getting done. It's just the next step. It's just like the final steps. But you know, yeah, hope you guys enjoy these episodes, and stream This Time, stream Communications, stream This Time, and let me know which one's your favorite. I already have my personal favorite out of the three, but
What's your favorite?
Green Light.
Green light. Oh, mine is Communication.
Oh, I love those. I love Communication too,
Yeah.
but like but Green Light kind of has the I I think probably because of the way it started and the way that Morgan and I were able to turn it around. That was probably
Behind the
that.
scenes.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's kind of the reason for it, and like it got like people like the Cosmic Casanova stuff. They like
Really?
they like the um like when I do love songs, like
Yeah.
I've noticed that even with Rocket Science, it was the same thing, and Green Light was basically the new version of it. So it's just like,
Oh, that is so cool.
yeah. That's kind of those are my favorite. I love all three though, but I mean it's and I think this album is like very if you listen to the last Mars Luna project, Dark Matter, it's like the antithesis of that.
Mm.
So it's like much brighter, much different sound. Well, similar but different. Sonically and general mood and everything. So, yeah, that's coming out on October 13th. Hopefully, that's the tentative release date. Um, and yeah, Holo, thank you so much for joining on the pod.
Yeah, you already know, man.
You know what I'm saying. Give us all your social media and all that kind of stuff, and just all the formalities to close this thing out.
Yes, yes. So you guys can go ahead and follow me on YouTube at Holokahiki Toves. And you can follow me on Instagram. And the highlight is going to be up for you to see what we talked about in this podcast.
Ooh.
It's gonna Instagram is at Holokahiki Toves. Yeah, guys, come by, stay a while, talk story,
Yeah, and
love.
and just give you can give the people your workout tips from your personal trainer.
Oh shoot. You're planting a seed with me. I gotta start making workout videos again. Oh
But
shoot, good fun, good fun.
yeah, yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Luna B Joshua. You can find all the music stuff. Follow Mars Luna at on Instagram. I was going to say Twitter, but it's X now.
It's X now.
Yeah, right. Instagram, X, Threads, Facebook, at It's Mars Luna. It's all the same. And you can follow. You can more importantly follow on Spotify and Apple Music, whatever music platform you use. Mars Luna. You'll get the quickest updates if you follow Mars Luna on Spotify and Apple. And you could subscribe on the website at itsmarsluna.com. And so thank you so much to everyone who listened and watched this episode. Hope you all enjoyed it. There's new episodes every month. Next month I'm gonna try to get a special guest. I'm gonna try bring Morgan Wright back. He was one of our first guests that we had like way early on. And I'm gonna try bring him back in preparation for a new orbit season. So hope you all have a great rest of your day, night, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. And as Mars Luna always like to say, always embrace your odyssey and embrace the strange and do this, right? Album season coming up. Everything's coming up real fast. So stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for the next episode. Later, guys.
Shoots.
This was actually a fun episode, Ethan.
Indeed.
I hope you all enjoyed this episode of the ML Backstage podcast. If you liked what you heard, follow us on Spotify and subscribe to us on Apple and YouTube at ML Backstage. You can follow me on Instagram, Threads, X, and Facebook at It's Mars Luna. You can find all my music on Spotify and Apple Music and on my website at itsmarsluna.com. Stream this time on all streaming platforms and watch the lyric video too on YouTube. Thank you all for listening, watching, and hanging out with us. Hope you're all enjoying this episode, and stay tuned for the next one as we hopefully have a special guest on. Bye!